You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
So one of the things I'll be looking for in this game will be how Trinidad Chambliss plays in his second game, going against a defense that's pretty good at scheming some stuff up. John Sumrall is very good at what he does. I'll be looking at different players around how they perform, and schematically, how does Ole Miss attack? Do they commit to Trinidad Chambliss if he's the starter on Saturday? Do they make it to where it's just a little bit easier for the run game to work? We know that Ole Miss is primarily 11 personnel. Every single play, they work at so much tempo. That's basically what they have to do. What does it look like if 12 personnel becomes more prevalent? What does it look like when 22 personnel shows up or 21 personnel? I'm interested in all of that stuff and whether or not Lane Kiffin will do that. Coming into this week, Ole Miss comes in at number 13 in the AP poll. I call that the non-ball knowers poll, plus Michael Katz. And the coaches poll, they're number 11, and that's the assistant SID poll. So Ole Miss is at a point where if they beat Tulane, they'll likely have a top 10 matchup against the LSU Tigers the following week, if you look at where they sit in the poll right now. The players to watch in this game is pretty simple. It's Trinidad Chambliss. All eyes are going to be on him. We saw against Texas A&M, Shea Patterson, what game 2 looked like against Vanderbilt. Can Trinidad Chambliss recreate a little bit of the magic that he had against the Arkansas Razorback? If he can, Ole Miss is going to win this game pretty handily. So we can see what's happening there. Kewan Lacey, we mentioned earlier in the show about Tulane having a leaky run defense where Duke averaged 6 yards per carry. South Alabama averaged 5 yards per carry, even without really explosive plays. Kewan Lacey could be in line to go pretty well this weekend. And Suntarine Perkins, how will they use Suntarine Perkins? Are they going to put him near the line of scrimmage? Are they going to turn him loose on Jake Reztlaff? Are they going to make him scramble out to his left and just force him so he's not rolling out to the right or something like that? That's interesting to me of how that ends up going. Ole Miss is currently favored by 12.5 points. The over-under is at 61.5. And that's been pretty stable all week. It's about 70% of the money and 70% of the bets are on Ole Miss. They're not moving the line. They're a little bit unsure about Trinidad Chambliss and the Ole Miss quarterback situation, but they're not sure enough to move it down, free fall it like they did against Arkansas last week. Now, this game, have Ole Miss winning 34-17 over the Tulane Green Wave. It's going to be a situation Ole Miss gets off to a quick start. It's going to look a lot like the Troy game just a couple of years ago. It was John Sumrall's first game. Ole Miss is going to come out quick, start fast, and they're going to be able to take that game over. Some other props that I will be looking at in this game, Kewan Lacey north of 150 yards. I'm really interested there. I don't know that Tulane has seen a back of the level of Kewan Lacey and seeing what he can do. I want to see how much Logan Diggs can play. Like John Reztlaff or Jake Reztlaff, his over-under on completed passes is 13. If it's under, Ole Miss is going to win this game going away. If it's over, I mean, it could be interesting. Force Reztlaff to have a career day to make that interesting. Play clean enough to where you don't make mistakes to give up easy scoring opportunities for the Tulane Green Wave. They're 7 for 7 on field goals. Their special teams are really good. This is a really well-coached football team. This is going to be a tough test. This isn't Georgia State coming in. Heck, this isn't Kentucky. This isn't Arkansas. This is a really good, really well-coached football team that is going to be ready to play on Saturday. But I think Ole Miss takes care of business just off of the superior athletes that they have. Ole Miss needs to be careful not to have coverage bust and stuff like that. They need to play a clean game, though. So we will see how it goes. Thank you for making Ole Miss your go-to source for Ole Miss sports, Locked On Ole Miss, I should say. We pride ourselves in offering the most comprehensive perspectives, which is why we're the front door of Ole Miss. If you don't believe me, search Ole Miss Podcast on Google and see how much we come up. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It helps the show and it is totally free. Your support means the world to us. In another big moment for Locked On, a show that I am on this week, if you have an Amazon Fire TV, college football fans, Locked On and Fire TV are presenting College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Tall of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation, two-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, and former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. A college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. Hotty toddy, everybody. And remember, analytics is just the old English word that means bad football. We'll see you later.